everybody, welcome back to the Blush Studio. So today we're going to be talking about color palettes, and I'm going to take you through one of the paintings that I have up on deck. I have a watercolor butterfly that I'm going to be doing here shortly, and I thought I'd just talk you through kind of my process. It's a little bit different. I work with a limited color palette, so what my palette needs to go far. I need all of the colors to really pull their weight. Now, a limited color palette is just the way that I prefer to work. It's something that we were challenged to do in college, and I just found that that's what I prefer. But it's not the only way to do it. In fact, I know many very, very wonderful and successful artists who work with a very large color palette. So don't feel like if you like to use a ton of different colors that that's a bad thing. This is just one technique. Okay, this is the one that we're doing today. So if we look at this is kind of a creamy color here. It's pretty much white, and then there are these kind of veins. These are like this warm brown tone, and then obviously this nice bright coral. The body is quite dark, but it definitely has some warmth to it, especially in here. It's a little bit lighter. And so that's kind of what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with kind of this pink tone and then make our goldeny brown color. And then from there, kind of decide what I want to use as an accent tone. And this will be determined by a couple different things, different ways that I want to desaturate, or just ways that I want to kind of add some color in. I don't see a lot of like subtle tones in here. It's pretty straightforward, this golden brown, other than like the yellow undertone, and then this corally color. If you watch this tutorial, this has like some really nice, so it's pretty much green, and this I found to be a pretty straight sap green color, but in here there's like this nice subtle, I think I used cadmium yellow, probably a little bit of lemon yellow because I just prefer that yellow. And that is like real in here really subtly, while down here it's more some blue tones. So those are different ways that I pull out colors that are already within the piece and just kind of add them in. And then blue, not necessarily found throughout here, but I ended up adding that in just because this is more of a blue tone and I scattered it throughout. But that tutorial is on YouTube already. Okay, one of my favorite ways to make a corally color is to start with Alizarin Crimson. Let's really get some of that down. I'm going to add some more water to that so it can really soften that. And then I use lemon yellow. And coral is just very close to an orange tone. And I want to make plenty of this so that it is, I'm able to get it nice and saturated. And that actually might be pretty close to our color right off the bat, which is kind of nice. If I'm working in a looser style, I would add yellow to this to get so that it's easy to build up that color. Or yellow, I would add white to it. Uh-oh, I've got a tired baby. Okay, so I'm just going to, I think I want a little bit more of a red undertone, so I'm going to add here. That's pretty close. Okay, so that is our pink for now. Now let's work off of a brown. I didn't even start with getting my browns wet. Let's see, is that just a wet brush, or is it really that red? Nope, it's that red. Okay, so that's going to be too red. The brown on here definitely has a more golden undertone. So actually, let's start with, this is raw sienna. Is that too yellow? Maybe yellow ochre? And I'm looking back at my reference photo for this. So I'm going to start with yellow ochre. And to desaturate it, because this is just really too bright, on the opposite of the color wheel from yellow is purple. But I think, no, I'm going to use purple. So this is an amethyst tone. It is very saturated. I probably used a little too much. See how that it's a little more of a sophisticated golden than just being as bright. Now you could use a little bit of black if you wanted to. You could use a blue, but then it'll have more of a green undertone. The nice thing with purple is that it will be a very neutral desaturation. It won't have kind of a lean, but sometimes I like to use like an indigo to desaturate yellow ochre. Okay, I'm really liking where that's headed. I am going to make one that's much darker because there are sections of this butterfly that are super desaturated. So I'm just going to increase the purple. And see how that's just a darker version. But because it has a lot of that yellow ochre in there, it's a very warm brown. So let's play with this. So there's definitely a purple undertone with that, but it's very warm still. And then this with it, because it's mixed with the same two colors, it will blend so nicely. And then I think if we use this nice and light, it'll be great for kind of the base of the butterfly wings. So that I'm not just using white. I don't generally like to use white. I like to reserve white for highlights and see how, yeah, that blends really nicely. So right now I'm using four colors, I guess. Alizarin Crimson, lemon yellow, yellow ochre, and then an amethyst, a purple color. So for my pops, I will probably either use a little bit of the amethyst. That might be a little too bright, so I'm going to mix the amethyst with some of the alizarin crimson and lemon yellow. So we have this color. Let's mix in that a little bit. I want it to be mostly the amethyst though, but just a little bit more corally toned. See, that might not be enough. I might have to go like kind of straight in with the amethyst. Actually, that might be our color. It's just a little bit more purple. It's not really in our reference image, but it's a color that's already been included in our palette. So it won't be like totally coming from left field, if that makes sense. Yeah, I really like that. But it could be a fun way to add some dimension. Now, if you're interested in seeing the full Blushing Phantom Butterfly watercolor tutorial, wow, that's a mouthful, I'll have that link down below and in the cards here. If you enjoyed kind of this additional information just with the color mixing where I go a little bit more into my color theory, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as well as let me know in the comment section down below. If you have any other questions, whether it's twins or artwork, feel free to send me a DM. And until next time, happy drawing, or happy painting, I guess. Bye.